I'm gonna try to use HTL in combination with Java and show it on a simple example. First, we're gonna go to CRXD to create a component U. We're gonna go to Apps, vRetail, Components, Content, and we're just gonna I already have it here from the last time, but I'm gonna recreate it. Okay, let's just add a new node. It's gonna be of type component. And we'll call it name. We're gonna add a few things to this node. We're gonna add a component group. And we're gonna add GCR title and GCR description. Okay, the next thing we want to do, we want to add an HTML file that has a name that's same as the component's name. So we're gonna type name.html, and inside here we're gonna make a div. And we're gonna use some HTML magic to call some of the properties. Let's call name, and let's call surname. And we're gonna put a line break here. So what this is gonna do, it's gonna check inside properties, and it's gonna search for name and surname. Now we're gonna copy the CQ dialog. We need to have CQ dialog inside the component, because if we don't have it, the AEM will not recognize it as a component. So we're just gonna paste it here. We're gonna delete this stuff, and we're gonna change the title to name. Okay. Now we'll need to create a template, which we'll use to create a page. Let's call it random template. We're gonna unlock this. And now we're gonna check if our component is available here. Let's go into vRetail and check for name. Here it is. Our component is available. That's good news. Now we're gonna use this template to make a page. Go to vRetail, let's create a page, and we're gonna use our new template, but it's not here because we forgot to enable it. Okay, let's go back to templates, let's enable this one. Okay, enable. Yes. And now that it's enabled, now we can see it, and now we can make a page from it. We're gonna call page ABC. Let's open it and let's add our name component. Okay, here is the component. The page is ready. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to CRXD. We're gonna go to content. We're gonna find our page that we just created. And here it is, ABC. It has content, root, and name. This component is important to us because we're gonna add these two properties here so that HTL can find it. Okay, let's say that name is Joe and surname is Doe. We're saving it, and now we're gonna check if it's working. And here it is, Joe Doe. Now we're gonna connect it with some Java logic that's gonna capitalize the first letter of name and surname. We're gonna add a Java file here inside apps, vretail, components, content, name. We're gonna add a Java file here. Let's create a file. It's name.java. We need to type in a package name, and the package name for files that are inside here is just gonna be a path from here to here. So the path goes like this: apps.vretail.components.content.name. I'm gonna put a semicolon here. If we want to use our class with HTL, we're gonna need to import WCMUsePojo because our class needs to extend it. WCMUsePojo. Now we're gonna add two variables, name and surname. And we're gonna go back to our HTML to import this Java information here. What we're gonna do is use data /use. This attribute is gonna help us use this as a model. So we're gonna type this one here. What this is a path to a Java file, and since it's in the same folder, the path is just a name. But if it was, for example, an OSGI bundle, then we're gonna type in a full package, a full class name, basically. And this here is just a local variable that we are using in this HTML file. It's not specific to this div. It can be used in entire documents. So if I wanted to use it here, I can use it here, even outside of the div. Okay, and we're gonna change this. Because now the HTML file is not getting these from properties, it's getting it from this Java class. And in order for HTL file to get name and surname from here, we need to have getters. Because when we type name.name here, it's actually gonna search for get name here. And in the case of surname, it's gonna search for get surname. So we're just gonna add some getters. Now that we have getters, we're gonna override activate method. Activate method is from WCMUsePojo, and I'm gonna post a specification for this class in my description. This activate method is basically what's gonna be called once we need this name. So when we type in data use name, it's gonna call the activate method here to initialize the attributes like name and surname. Okay, so we're gonna say that name is equal to get properties. Now what this get properties does is it returns us a value map of all properties that are connected to this context, and this context is a name component. It's part of WCMUsePojo, and it returns a value map to us. So we need to get name from that value map. Okay, and if we want to capitalize it, we're gonna need string utils. We're gonna do the same thing for surname. Okay, let's test this out. We're gonna refresh this page, and as you can see now the first letters are capitalized. So to sum up what's happening here, we have this component inside a page. It has two properties, two custom properties, name and surname. It's Joe Doe with lowercase. And since this code is responsible for handling the component, this Java file is used in HTML. So this activate method is gonna get called. It's gonna get all the properties. So it's gonna get those properties, and we're gonna extract name and surname, and we're gonna use string utils to capitalize those two properties. And then we're gonna call name and surname. We're gonna get it by using getters with this HTL syntax, and it's gonna show on this page.